This is Press TV's Top 5. Thanks for joining us. A senior Iranian security official says any foreign inspection of the national missile capability is out of the question. The secretary of the Supreme National Security Council, Ali Shamkhani, told reporters that Iran's missile program has no deviation towards unconventional weapons. Shamkhani noted that the range of Iranian missiles corresponds to the threats facing the country. He added that enemies have taken military action against Iran off their agenda because they know that it will cost them heavily. Iran has already made it clear that its missile program is non-negotiable. The country is currently holding talks with the 5 permanent members of the UN Security Council plus Germany over its nuclear activities. Well, to discuss that a bit further, I'm joined with Mr. Sayed Mustafa Khoshcheshm, who is joining us live now by Skype right here in the Iranian capital, Tehran, and he's a political commentator. Mr. Khoshcheshm, thanks for joining us once again. I'm wondering, how do you feel about these statements by Mr. Shamkhani? Certainly, the missile issue should never have been on the table to begin with.
In the name of God, hello, and thank you very much for inviting me on board. Well, the point is that whenever Iran makes progress in different fields of technology, no matter it's nuclear technology or its missile power, the United States and its allies feel threatened because they see Iran as an existential threat to their interests in the region. No matter what Iran says, they want to confine Iran and they want to weaken Iran because they see Iran as a threat, as I said before. So they have included excessive demands in their nuclear talks for the last couple of years, especially in the last year, and especially since July the 20th deadline, the previous deadline that expired for the nuclear talks between Iran and the world powers. So they wanted to include Iran's missile industry in their program. Well, why? Because if you pay attention, missile power and airstrikes have become the #1 military power for all armies throughout the world. If you remember the U.S. invasion of Afghanistan, of Iraq, they started with missile strikes followed by airstrikes. Now, in the last decade especially, armies throughout the world have focused on developing their drone technology and their missile technology because of lower expenses and because it doesn't have actually no human losses. So it does not incur much losses on any army. Iran has grown a very developed missile power in the world now. And this has been acknowledged even by Iran's foes. They want to contain this power, but they cannot, because Iran's missile industry and power has never deviated towards unconventional goals. That's number one. Number two, as Iran has said and repeatedly stressed, Iran believes that regional security should be established through collective efforts by the regional nations. Some regional people in the region, they might be affected by or influenced by their media outlets and think that now Iran is growing its military power and the missile industry, we might be threatened, but that's not true. As Iran has repeatedly stressed, its growing missile power and military power serves peace in the region. That's irony for some regional nations who might ask how. The answer to this question is that the more powerful Iran's missile and military capabilities grow, the more disappointed the United States and its allies in the region will grow in attacking or from attacking Iran. And that's, if you remember, just 2 or 3 years ago, and even before President Obama rose to power, George Bush, and Israel repeatedly stressed that they wanted to initiate war on Iran. We heard fewer words like this under the Obama administration, not just because they have changed their policy. No, if they find the opportunity, they strike Iran. The point is that Iran's missile industry has grown so powerful that it has disappointed its enemies from staging an attack on Iran, and today Iran's top security.
Okay, we'll have to leave it there at that point, Mr. Khoshcheshm. I do apologize for interrupting you, but of course, as always, we do sincerely appreciate you speaking to us. That was Sayed Mustafa Khoshcheshm, political commentator, who's speaking to us live from right here in Tehran.